The word of the day for today, January 29th, 2022, is xebec. Xebec. It's a noun, and it means a small three-masted vessel of the Mediterranean, formerly much used by corsairs, now employed to some extent in commerce. And corsairs would have been, privateers, pirates, something like that. The origin on dictionary.com is stupendously interesting. Get into French, Catalan, Spanish, Arabic, and wind up in some ways more confused at the end of it than when I started. Other than to discover this one interesting piece that the X sound, because, I should mention, this is spelled Xebec. That's an X at the beginning. Xebec, pronounced xebec. Now, the X sound has changed, been on a journey of several stops, one of which in the history of Spanish was the sh sound. And then it shifted to the H sound and was then in many words replaced. The X was then replaced by a J, the letter J. Right? And so now you get, which is now in our time, the J is pronounced with the H sound, right? You can see how we got here. And the word xebec in Spanish is habec now. Jabeque, habec. And it got there because that J used to be an X, used to sound like sh. Right? The origin gets into Don Quixote, and I went down that rabbit hole a little bit, and how that's pronounced. Should it be Don Quixote, Don Quixote, etc. Right? We're not going to go there. Well, I already went there. But then we discover that the pronunciation of the X as an H sound still exists in some place names, such as Mexico, Oaxaca, and I don't know if this is how you pronounce this, Bahar or Behar, which is the county in Texas where San Antonio is located. So we can still see signs of this pronunciation of the that transitional pronunciation of the X in our modern language. The examples on dictionary.com are useful enough. They actually describe the ship in context, or the boat, however you want to put it. And I think many of us will have some familiarity with what the ship, the xebec, looks like. And I think you could use this. One of the distinctive features, right, is the three masts. And so if you were creating a character that had, three, arches on its back, or three, you get the idea, right? Like, if you had an animal with three humps, you could call it a xebec. You might use camel-related terms more usefully if it were a land creature, and a ship type of language if it's a sea creature, and xebec might be perfect for that. Like a sea monster with either 3 arches in its back or 3 fins, or maybe it arches 3 times. It arches 3 times out of the water as it moves. Fins would probably be the best, because they kind of are reminiscent of sails, which are what are attached to these masts. You could use it similarly in a sci-fi context. If your ship, your spaceship design, you could be a class of spaceship. Yeah, plenty of possibilities in creative writing, more than I thought I would think of. So, Xebec.